Right, today we want to help you to get good audio levels across your talking head video and do it automatically by normalizing the audio in Davinci Resolve. Just as a disclaimer, I'm a hobbyist and an enthusiast of these nerdy things, but if you are a professional or you have a sound recordist on set or you are mixing music or in general you know what you are doing, you probably should not be watching this video and go and see some of the professionals. This is intended for people like me who are making YouTube videos, talking head. Sometimes the audio levels might be a little bit different, might be from a vlogging situation, and you just want to normalize the audio so that the voice is consistent across the video, and we'll check that easily in a non-professional setup that hopefully will help you get better results for your videos. And for the impatient ones, let's just get to it. So for the impatient ones, I have just edited the video, or cut all the talking head bits separately. Then I will just go to my Fairlight page, select all of the clips, right click, normalize audio levels, and I do it with independent and this ITO whatever -1 -23 normalize, and you can see that there's nothing changed, and most of the clips now have similar audio levels. Some of them will be rubbish. For instance, this one was basically silence, but the rest of them will be already in good homogeneous sounding levels for all these talking head bits. So for some more details, let's try to explain really simply what this normalization is. Normalization is applying a constant gain to a clip to reach a certain level of target loudness. And the target loudness is basically the amount of sound that there is in that particular clip. So the software, what it does is calculates how much sound there is in that particular clip. And then if it's too much, it's going to apply constant gain to lower it down. If there's too little, it's going to apply constant gain to bring it up. In the section for the impatient ones, I was saying that what you should do first is edit your video and cut separately the talking bits. That's what we want to normalize today. What we want is to have a constant and good level across our talking head bits. So if at some point you're silent and showing B-roll or there's music there, you don't want to normalize that likely, or you might want to do that manually. Now what we want is to normalize these particular bits. If there will be long silences or massive peaks, that is included in the calculation of loudness or amount of sound within that clip, and that's also used for how much gain do I need to apply. All right, so let me show you this clip, or let me let you hear it actually. So there we go. And this is just a test now. I'm a bit farther. This section is obviously low. Much slower. The gain will be fine because 32-bit float, but I want to normalize this. Silence. And I want to normalize the last clip. Maybe that's enough. That's quite terrible. The good news is that I was recording in 32-bit float audio, which means that this clipping, I can deal with it easily. If we go on Fairlight, I could, of course, try to address these things separately, but what I'm going to do is just normalize it. Now, I have a section which is too low and it's lifting. I have a section which is silent and I will not care what happens to it. I'm going to remove it and delete it, or just leave it silent. And I have a section which is obviously clipping and way too loud. If I select them all, right click, normalize the audio levels. Again, this is what I normalize them to. You can do it relative or independent. If you do it relative, it looks at the whole audio section, does the analysis, and then it sets one single gain for all the clips. And let's do it so you see what happens. We know that we should be lifting the one on the left and we should be lowering the one on the right. If we normalize this, it's going to save us the right part because it was way too loud, but it's also overpowering the whole clip. But now our silent part is even more silenter. We did not want that. I'm going to undo. And again, right click, normalize, but let's do it independently. So this will look at each clip on their own and apply a single gain for that particular clip. And now as you can see, this is absolute rubbish because this was silence, which means that now it's going to sound awful. But this bit and this bit are much better. You know what? Let's actually take this away manually And now let's listen to this. And this is just a test now. I'm a bit farther away from the microphone and speaking much slower. The gain will be fine because it's 32-bit float, but I want to normalize this. And I want to normalize the last clip together with this one, which hopefully I am not clipping the microphone, but certainly I'm much louder and much closer. The levels are comparable now, aren't they? Yes, it sounds different because here I was much closer to the microphone. So the proximity to the microphone makes a huge difference, and don't be fooled. 32-bit float is not a magical thing, but now the overall level of the both sections are comparable to each other. One might be a little bit more noisy, the other one might be a little bit more boomy, but at least they will not hurt your ears. And if that's something that you wanted to showcase, normalizing both separately, you're lying to the audience, you're just making it okay sounding in the ears of the audience. So that's an important thing to remember. If you want to have absolute control and fidelity reproduction of the real dynamic range, this normalization, how I'm explaining it today, it will not do that for you. My goal today is to get all the talking head bits in a good level. For the impatient ones, I went really quickly towards this, but I did pick to use the different, the isolated normalization so that it does it clip by clip instead all of it together. The reason for that is that if you normalize all of them together, what the software does is calculate this amount of sound or loudness of all that section and apply the same gain to all of them to get it to the target level. This means that if some clips would have needed going up or more gain and some going down, that's not going to happen. It's going to try to do something that balances everything to the target loudness. What you likely wanted, and it might be that you have clips that sometimes you were a bit too far from the microphone and then a little bit too close to the microphone, you want to normalize those so they sound at the same level. Because again, we're aiming for a consistent sounding YouTube clip today, not a dynamic range test of how close or how far I am from my Comica microphone today. So if you do it separately, it will calculate the loudness for each clip and then adjust each clip. Will not be fidelity of dynamic range once again, but it will sound consistent throughout your video. And at what value should you normalize? I'm not going to go through that rabbit hole. I am not a sound engineer. I have not read enough about the topic. This is the value I'm choosing because after testing a couple of them a little bit, it seems to give me the results that I want. Go and check Curtis Judd's videos. I can't remember even where to point. Just go and watch Curtis Judd in general if you really want to know about audio recording. But this is the value that works for me. And when not to use normalization, as I said, if you want to have control over the dynamic range or if you want to show fidelity of the dynamic range, then do that manually, control the gain manually, and you'll be better off without that. Today, our goal was how do we get consistent levels across a talking head video for these YouTube purposes, especially if some of the sources were a little bit different. Hopefully this was helpful, and if you find it useful, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon for some more content.